Time for a couple of minutes with our legal analyst, Paul Harding from Martin, Harding and Mazzotti. Hey, Paul.
Hey, good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Kelly.
Morning. It's a sad commentary on New York State, but we have major trials going on. One in Manhattan, and they're across the street from one another. You have the former Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver in one courthouse, Skelos jury selection underway on the other side of the street. It's an ugly time for New York. Now, Skelos is getting underway. There's been talk of a plea deal. How would you characterize a case against Skelos? Do you think it's a strong one for the prosecution from what you know?
From what I know, the case is not as strong as the one with Silver. We are just getting information sort of via these transcripts and all these phone recordings that were done. And, I think it's going to come down that, sure, he was supportive of his son. He wanted to help his son out. And the question is, how far did he go in getting these companies to say, listen, you pay my son some money and you're going to be looked upon favorably in the Senate.
What defense could you even mount against that?
The son is a consultant, so he's consultants get hired all the time. Sort of, they work with lobbying firms, they work with different companies, and if they have, lobbyists all day will walk into, different legislators' offices and say, listen, my company needs this done. We represent IBM. So there's the argument is that he had a legitimate background in government and that he had influence. Now, obviously, the influence that he's supposed to have is not because he is the son of a high-ranking official. So the defense is going to be that he's allowed to have a job, he's allowed to go out and solicit people who think that he's able to get some things done for him. And the question is, was it nothing more than money that he was going to get because he can make a phone call to his father?
Now, where do you draw the line between, say, networking, and they always say it's all who you know, and, reaching out to a friend of a friend? Where's the difference between that and where does it cross the line into undue influence?
Yeah, if they're able to prove that Dean Skelos himself is the one pushing for these payments, that's the line. I can go out and I can solicit all kinds of people to say, listen, I can make some things happen in Albany. Pay me a monthly amount of money, and I'll see that your tax on your cell phone is going to be reduced by a certain amount of money or something. If they believe I can do that, they can give me money and I can go try. So, but the question here is going to be, what did Dean Skelos do to make this happen?
Speaking to our legal analyst, Paul Harding from Martin, Harding, Mazzotti, I think a similar theme, even though you said the essence of the cases are different between Silver and Skelos, is, even though something might be sleazy in Albany, it may not be illegal.
I guess, right, because when you look at it quick, you say conviction, and I think here you've got, with Silver, you have and maybe with Skelos too, I just don't know what the public perceives of these folks. Bruno was sort of a likable guy to some degree. People just sort of, would smile when they'd say his name, even though these horrible things were being said about him. Here, it kind of feels that people are looking at this like, it's about time. Is it a feel? So, yeah, there's action in Lower Manhattan. You can all kinds of tourist attractions, including two federal courthouses.
Well, I think the difference between these two and Joe Bruno is Joe Bruno was a local guy, and he was here. We always saw him. He was around, and people say, oh, he did great things for the Capital Region. So I think that's the difference between that and these two. It also seems like Sheldon Silver has absolutely no remorse. He is there. I think I would be very surprised if there was a plea deal. What do you think about Skelos?
Yeah, I don't see any plea deals coming at all. I think that the inference on the Skelos was that there was an ask by either Dean Skelos or his son to start going down that road, and the government was pretty clear. They said, no, we didn't talk about it. We didn't want to do that. As far as Silver goes, same thing. I don't think he's looking for a deal, but nor is there going to be one on the table. We're going to have a couple verdicts. And, they're difficult to say, but I would say that the Silver verdict, I do believe that he will be found guilty. And with Skelos, we're going to just kind of watch that one as it unfolds.
Interesting. We'll see. I'm afraid they both may walk, even though I'm sure they sold their influence, but we'll see. Hey, Paul, thanks. Really appreciate the time.
Okay, guys.
Legal analyst Paul Harding from Martin, Harding, Mazzotti, 1-800-LAW-1010.